So we're going to continue our image header, position and the height. 90%. Okay, so finished with the header. Now if we save it, let's see how is our website look like. So that's what's showing in here at the moment. Okay, so you can see the block. We still haven't done them. We need to format. So you can see now that we need to format the writing in here because it needs to be right in the middle. So that's the next step. We're going to do it. We're also going to fix that button in here. It's actually the other button is underneath. So to fix the header, remember it's in the header and it was H1. So we're going to do that formatting first. Here, so we do font size 2.3. We will do text transformation. The text transform none, and we do text. The alignment we want it to be in the center. Now the other one was header H2. So we do the margin. The margin is the distance left, also top, right, left, and bottom, but from the surrounding of it. So it's very important to put the margin for the header 2 because we have header 1 and then we have to put the margin for the header 2. So font size again obviously needs to be smaller than header 1, and text alignment we want it to be in the center as well. Okay, we save it. Okay, so you can see now this one here we got in the middle, and the margin is mean the distance for that one according to the surrounding of it. Okay, the next bit is we're going to do our navigation block because you see that's the other buttons underneath the picture, so we want to put it in the center, so we need to change the navigation block. I'm going to write it in here where the navigation is, just it's a bit more tidier and easy to read. So navigation, we want the text alignment to be in the center. And we want the display as a block. So we save it, and then now we can see the changes. So you can see now that's what causing that moves. Okay, so we're going to continue working on our navigations. Probably it's time. Okay, I'll explain some of these things now. So we're just going to discuss a few things. So the padding, as I said, is top, left, so from 4 directions: top, left, right, and bottom is just explain giving the distance, how much space you wanted, giving that so you are defining the borders for that particular section. The margin is the distance or how much space you want, also left, right, and bottom for the section, but it's outside the borders. So whatever the borders, so it's considered all in one section, and then from the borders to the next section or to the next item, this is how much distance you want. The borders here, just adding a borders in here, 1 pixel, you can make it as thick as you want. There is different types of, you can solid, dotted, double line, there is lots of things. Border radius, now those two really mean the same, those three of them. There is two ways of giving the border radius. Border radius mean I don't want the edges of the border. So if I go into here, I don't want that one here to be sharp. I want it rounded. So that one is, this feature is giving me this. So I've written all of it just to discuss it. This one here used to be in the older browsers. Now I think my browser doesn't require it, but I'm not sure about yours. So if you require it, you write it. But most of the new browsers, if you have recently updated, it doesn't require it. It doesn't require those words in front. That's why we're going to take this one off. This one here is, you can either use 8 pixels, it's just a measurement like centimeters, meters, so it's either 8 pixels, this is how much rounding you want it to be, or 0.8 em, so it's up to you. So both of them means the same thing. So I'm going to take this one off. I'll just show you if I increase it. So let's say I make it 12, make it a little bit bigger so you can see the difference. So if I, can you see that one now here? So if I make it 20 and then save, I come here and then refresh. Can you see how is it less rounding now? Can you see it? It's a bit less, but I don't want that one. I wanted more rounding, so that's why I've got 0.8. You can make it more rounding by putting actually a whole number, and then can you see how is it even more rounding now? So it depends on how big is the number. The bigger the number, the more rounding it is. Obviously, the bigger the radius of the circle, the bigger is the circle. So that's math. This is the colors of the background color for all the sections. I want them like kind of a yellowish, like, you know, just skin color, let's call it. Now the image header, we've already done that. So the position is absolute. Left, again, those are the distance, and the height, how height you want it to be, 90%. There's different types of, just going over the position a little bit. So there is different types of the position. Absolute mean it it places itself according to the surrounding. So you have an anchor, means you've got that you wanted it within that frame and then placed within that frame, so it adjusts the size in it. Now if I, for example, that is fixed, there is statics, there is lots of things, that is float. So if I say fixed, which is, it's got nothing to do with this running along, so it's just going to be like an identity by, you know, an image by itself. So you can see it's above all the sections, got nothing to do with the sections, it's fixed, same size of the photo and so on to be used. It could be statics or float. It's going to be still in the same section that you've added into it, but the difference is in the section itself it's going to be the same size, so it's going to be floats around. So you can see the section itself's got bigger and that's being placed. Okay, so those are the difference. Obviously in our design we want it to be absolute, that's why we've chosen absolute. So you can search all of that. You can go to there is a website, or I'll share a OneNote with you to have all of those information in it. This is, you know, again, the size, how far you want it from the text, and the height of it is 90%. And the next of the information is the same, but this time we're gonna do it to the text. So all of these things, I think, yeah, I covered it all. Yep, covered it all. Okay, now as you see, I've got my they all in a vertical order, but we want now to put our content is into the right of the screen and our section to be on the left of the screen. And that's what we can do it using our style, the CSS. So I'm gonna do the section first. So we're gonna do the section. and the section we want it to be flat to the left. That will move it to the left, and we want the width of the section to be I think 68 pixels or 170 pixels. Just try it. Pixels to be alright, and then the text alignment, so the alignment in the text, and then we want it to be left as well. Oops. And then now we're going to do the content. Again, plot, this time we want it right, and we want the width. We determine the width of it, 660 maybe, because we want the content definitely to be bigger than the section. The section is a smaller version of it. And then the text alignment again is a left. Okay, so we just search it, and then you can see that's what's giving me. You can see the section is to the right, this one's to the left, because I've determined the width, so I don't have those extra bits in here. But I've got the footer here. You can see it's within, so I need to go back and add the footer alignment. Okay, so that now we're gonna do the footer. The alignment didn't work, so we're just gonna do the footer. I think we'll do display. We want it to be a block by itself, so I'm gonna do it block. We also want to determine the width of the footer, maybe 890, because it's nice to be a big one. And the other one of it, we want to be clear both sides. That's mean it's by itself, it's not surrounding anything. And I think that will work. Yeah, so that's give me the footer. So you can see now the distance between, you've got this one here, and then you can just if you add more information, introduction obviously will be longer, and the footer will stay right at the bottom. Another thing we can also do is determine, or the H1 and H2, the properties for the introduction, for the section, for the content. So we can also do it exactly the same way as we've done for the header. So you can do content H1 and do that, content H2, and so on. And your website, or your first page of the website, is done. Now then, in the next video we're going to do the next page, which is insert and aliens, and that's what we're going to use our form features that we've learned in it.